Brains. I'm just like, I want to be here. My feet hurt. And the only reason my feet hurt is because I decided I would wear my house shoes today sitting at my desk. That was a mistake. Don't wear your house shoes while you're sitting at your desk. Also, I don't know why, but I'm wearing a sweater that is basically the same color as my flesh. I'm not sure if that was a good idea. It's not that many shades. I mean, you can see that it's different, but it's not that many shades different. Wahoo. Alright. Sorry. I promise I have been getting sleep. I promise. I just apparently I'm not getting the right amount or kind of sleep. I'm not sure. I would say somebody come and monitor my sleep, but you know, then I would be terrified that, you know, there might be something horrible that would happen while I was asleep. You ever try to click on something that you're not directly looking at? It doesn't go very well. Oh, I got cocoa. And I bought two 2-pound bags of mini dehydrated marshmallows, so my cocoa has marshmallows in it. Don't ask, I don't know why. I've been really wanting hot cocoa, and I don't want to pay for, like, hot cocoa K-cups, and I didn't want to buy a bunch of packets, because that's a box full of packets that are thin, you know, anyways, I don't know. It's still hot. Hot cocoa is hot. Here, you smell it? Maybe over here. I should put some milk in it. Maybe that would cool it down. I love the music for this game. It's got like all the energy, and it's got a lot of string quartet in it. I love a good string quartet. Okay. Now, stop with the flish flash. Something over there. And there's a sign over there. I have no idea where we are. Guys! Oh, wait, never mind. I think I know where we are. Guys, my brain is missing. Someone help me find it. That is completely alright. While you're at Lone Spur, can you try to find my brain? Where's this? I have no idea if Linux is actually listening or not, so I don't want to feel like, yes, find my brain for me, but then not tell her. And she has to be like, what the fuck is Faye talking about now that I'm at the stream? Heck! How am I not logged in? Why am I not logged in? Twitch, you're supposed to keep me logged in. Crap. Can I do it from Streamlabs? Yes, my brain is lost. Kind of listening. Gotcha. Yeah, my brain is broken. And it's missing. And I'm pretty sure Somebody's got to find it before I lose my ever-loving effing mind. I know. We just fought off the guys who are in this. I thought I saw another shiny thing. Oh, are you just a... You're just a poster. We don't read posters! Anything hiding here? No? It's just really dark because I set the darkness to be dark. Hey, you deserve a fun night. Straight up. The two of you deserve a fun night. Don't feel bad. Have fun at Lone Spur. Eat all the food and tell me about it when you get here. If, you know, even if it's tomorrow. I don't think I've ever eaten at Lone Spur. I don't think I've ever even had a drink at Lone Spur. Nope, don't turn around. Just damn it all. What's wrong with all of you people? Anxiety f***ing blows. I feel like I have every right to speak to that because I'm, you know, a giant ball of anxiety most days.
Sir, no civilians allowed.
No civilians
Don't come
allowed.
any fucking closer.
Oh, okay, I'll go over here then.
This one's mine!
Okay, fine. Be that way. You guys started this. Just remember that.
You're mine!
Dang it. I ran right into an invisible wall. Ow.
You! Get back in the grave! Fuck his boss!
Wow.
Over there! There's one of them vermin!
This is not going to be fun because the next area is going to be a pain in my ass. I'm pretty sure that area has a whole bunch of higher level dudes. There's something in there before? I swear there was something. Okay, well, I gotta go through here eventually, right? And bearing in mind that we haven't been, like, asleep in the game for a really long time, which is in part why we have so much experience, but not the only reason why we have so much experience. Primary reason is because we've been killing people. And not just, oh, I ran into somebody and so I killed them and got 5 experience points. I've been through that hell. That hell is like the hell where you send NPCs who didn't do their jobs right. go in this store yet? I don't think I can. Oh, wait, I can. Oh! Really? Okay. Okay. We can go through there now. What else is over here? A garbage can we haven't looted yet. And another garbage can we haven't looted yet. Barge on the other side of the river. And a scow is itching himself or themselves rather vigorously. Pretty sure this one has a partner. Yep. I don't know what the Velociraptor scream is supposed to do, but it doesn't really seem to cause too much of an effect. He didn't drop anything. That's just a poster. And apparently we run into things and break them these days. Already looted both of those. That upstairs is just upstairs. I don't think I ever realized that those could all be broken. Hey, don't ask. I just like to break things, okay? Should be a level 5 over here. Or not? Okay. Let's find out if we can get these two to go and let me spy on them. But maybe I can finally kill one of them. Ow. My feet. Am I not allowed to spy on you two?
We're not in the middle of a battlefield.
I cannot enter.
Shit, you can't enter. Also, apparently don't know how to spy. Accidentally pushed too hard on the joystick. Yet another reason that I believe my brain is missing. But then again, I
It
also...
ain't human. Kill it.
WTF? What? Where did you guys come from?
Don't like that, do ya?
No, you're right, I don't. Ow.
Look lively. It's all us.
Stop shooting at me.
Eat this.
No thank you. I'm not terribly fond of garlic or silver, thank you. Complete lie.
He's done for.
I love both.
Die, vermin.
I swear to the gods, I already cleaned out this street. Let's see here. Let's go back this way. Let's get down to business. I apologize.
I'll take it.
I did it to myself, though, at the same time. This is a song that tends to get stuck in my head for like 6 months at a time. I'm sorry.
Take a breath of this.
Ouch!
It's one of them. Murdering bastard.
Ow. Stop shooting me. Jiminy crickets, my man.
Boom. Ah!
Oh, look, another garbage can I didn't loot yet. Okay, so now we've cleaned out like a loop.
I'd step back, sir. There's one of them. Snuff it, leech.
Excuse me?
It's a leech. Kill it. That's gotta hurt.
Only if you hit me with it. Ow.
Filthy piece of shit. Murdering bastard. No.
Apparently it doesn't even hurt that much if I get hit by it. That's more because, you know, blood absorption through sword. you. No? Anything else? I swear I just heard a gun cock. And this door is unlocked. And this place is full of scowls. I totally say scowl like I'm Minnesotan. Scowl. Oh, keep your moaning to yourself. Oh, damn you anyway. Damn your eyes! Steal a line from Guild Wars. Am I? Are you freaking kidding me? Really? Okay, this would be a good reason to go and sleep, right? No. Are you fucking kidding me? I hate you and the horse you rode in. Well, the good news is I'll still heal. So there's that. Assuming that I don't get myself in trouble before I heal. Yeah, that's where the turquoise, that makes that booth over there. So the question is, do we really want to go through here and fight all the scowl that are in this area, including the blinky, screamy lady? Stop picking up bullets, it makes me nervous. No, it's not even a blinky lady, it's a blinky boy. But it's still screamy. We do have a problem insofar as...
This is Braille.
Oh, we found
I
the
need someone who
second
can read
Braille
this.
text. That's 2 out of 4. This is gonna suck.
What are you people, huh? You won't get me here! Get out! Get away from me, you bastard! Get the fuck out, you crazy bastard!
Dang it. Dang it. Dang it.
And I will show you how to wait for business. You won't get me here! Get out!
Yay! Means we don't lose out on this guy this time. Which is probably the more important time.
Are you all right, sir? What are you doing in a place like this?
I'm not sure that's any of your business.
I hope you realize that staying here will put your life at great risk.
Pah!
Everything is my
I'm
business.
not afraid of these guards of Priwen, or whatever these thugs call themselves. I can still kick some respect into those youngsters.
I wasn't specifically referring to them, but are you really after these men? Why?
They took my boy! I've had no news since he joined that crazy gang. So I decided to come and find him myself, to get some answers.
I see. But as I said, your life is at risk if you stay here. And I'm not referring to the gangs either. You should leave, sir.
Well, this part of town used to be nicer, let's say. Perhaps you're right. This isn't the best way to save Andrew.
Andrew. More bullets. No me gusta bullets. Choo choo. Strange time. There's a change in music. I also don't see me. Bloody letter!
There is a name engraved under the blood on the back of the case. Jack Gillingham. Maybe I should return this watch to his family.
Or we could take it apart and use it for parts. Kidding. This dumbass is still standing here. I'm thinking I should probably go back to the docks the easy way path. Pretty sure that this path is more dangerous than I want it to be right now for myself. Sploosh. White sploosh. Okay, well, you're dead. Which is good. We can't go on that. Whatever it is. Barge. This goes back up to the bridge. Oof. Okay, well, looks like we might be taking a semi sort of scheduled break because I have a delivery coming. So when they get here, I'll take a bathroom break, let the pooch OUT, and go and grab my stuff from Target. Most of which is groceries. Kind of was expecting to find something else down here, but hey, whatever.
For now, everything seems under control, more or less.
Don't forget to keep an eye out for this garden. Something sweet. My guess is they're recruiting for some bench.
Gotta be something. The boys are waiting for our...
Mark my word. These murders are the work
I hope the rumors about Clay are
A
true.
vampire? Whatever do you mean?
I'm a tracker of these creatures. A vampire hunter.
You best be off to your hunting then. For if the sewer dog is back.
Good evening,
and
sir.
hunting
Whatever.
these poor folk
Don't you
in the
recognize
country.
me? We met a few nights ago.
Don't take it personally. I spent a lot of energy forgetting what I did the night before.
Yes, you had definitely drunk too much then as well. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
I'm Dyson Delaney. I'll try to remember you. This time.
Murders by night.
I'm looking for Mr. Sean Hampton. Do you know where I could find him?
I really don't know. I heard he'd been abducted. I don't know if he's back.
Who could tell me then?
About the sad saint. I'll try asking Tom what's about him.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Delaney?
I drink. I drink in the morning and at noon. I drink at night. And then I drink some more.
Why do you drink so much?
Maybe it's because I prefer dying slowly. Death can be so abrupt. Personally, I like to see mine coming at my own pace.
You sound very sad, sir.
That's because I am, Doc.
Don't you work at all?
I'd love to, but I don't have the time. Didn't I tell you? Drink in the morning and at noon. I drink at night.
That's a lot of drinking.
Is there anything in particular that you like about this part of town? Except for the cheap drinks, I mean.
How dare you say such a thing? I love this neighborhood. So friendly. So joyful.
Why are you so cynical?
Cynicism is the polite way to express despair, Doctor.
I don't know about all that. There's a lot of reason to be cynical and a lot of reason to despair. I'm not sure that cynicism is the correct way to express despair, though. Sorry for pouring milk on stream. That's weird, I guess.
No reason at all to rejoice, then? Life is hopeless and then we die? Is that it?
Let me tell you a story.
All right. Go on.
A few years ago, when I believed a resolute man could change things around here for good, a tragedy occurred nearby.
What kind of tragedy?
It was a bomb. Bomb that exploded and killed many people. Metal and blood everywhere. Shouts, fire, broken window of the shoe shop, the torn streetlight.
You lost people you loved that day, didn't you?
I've lost everything. But you know what the worst part is? I don't even remember where it happened. I've drunk so much to forget it, and now I can't remember where it was. I can't pay my homage to the dead.
I'm sorry, Mr. Delaney.
It's okay. If you ever find the place, just leave a flower for me there. Even if you
That's
tell me where
easy.
it is. I'm not sure I'd memorize it.
We could go and do that now.
Is there anything in particular that you like about this part of town? Except for the cheap drinks, I mean.
How dare you say such a thing?
Wait
I
a
love
second.
this neighborhood.
I am
Inebriation
super
aside,
confused.
do you need medical help?
Yes, I feel sicker than usual these days.
Take this, then. And perhaps you could try to slow down the alcohol intake, too.
Hey, Doc, you don't really want me to stop the only remedy I can afford.
I'm having
Surely you must have had dreams and expectations when you were young, like everybody else.
Sure, I wanted things to change. To really change, and to change for good. The bigger the dream, the harder the fall.
Sounds like you were an idealist, which is honorable.
No, sir. I was an anarchist and I believed that exclusive property is a robbery in nature. I wanted a new world to rise from the ashes, Dr. Reed.
Do you
Well, that's
really
one
think
hint.
the world is that bad?
No, I believe we all can choose to make it better. But most of us are too weak, too corrupt and too guilty. I failed for sure, but others will come.
I want to know more about your past as an anarchist, Dyson.
I'm still an anarchist, Doctor, make no mistake. I just reject violence as a tool to change the world, unlike my comrades.
Do you still see your comrades, then? Even if you don't agree with their methods anymore, I mean.
No. I hope they'll come to share my point of view one day. I'll raise my glass to that splendid idea.
Do you believe in a bloodless revolution, then?
I do not believe in much anymore, Doctor. But I'll admit I like your idea of peaceful change. I like it a lot.
Goodbye, Mr. Delaney.
Every night, a darkness, and every dawn another death.
Not a drop of blood left in his body. This is the work of a vampire.
Good evening, sir. Have you witnessed any suspicious activity or strange events recently?
And what do you define as a strange event? More to the point, who are you?
My name is Ichabod Throgmorton, vampire hunter extraordinaire and warden of the East End.
A vampire hunter? Really?
I know what you're thinking. I'm just another lunatic howling at the moon, but I'm not. The bloodsuckers exist, and they're close.
Mr. Throgmorton, I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'd like to hear more
Actual
about these
vampires.
vampires you're hunting.
A man of science? Well, I'll be glad to enlighten you.
Okay, so that last poof was the delivery. So we're going to take a scheduled break. So I'm going to put us on Be Right Back. I'm going to go let Coda OUT use the bathroom, bring the groceries in, put the groceries away. I will, of course, put us back on once I'm down here putting groceries away so that we can have talk. Where we can talk, or whatever. Hey, you know what I mean. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright, so a lot of this actually ends up having to go into the deep freezer. But what I can in here. I must have been out of lasagna. That's a shame. Day. As soft as the ice cream is, I'd almost say that whoever is picking probably picked through the frozen goods before they picked out anything else. So, I take it back. I was able to fit all of that in that freezer. Let me take a look at my receipt real quick here. I know I'm not going crazy and I didn't leave anything upstairs. Because I did leave, all of my soft drinks and a bag of what I was pretty sure was just, you know, pantry goods. Yep. Completely out of lasagna and out of one of the ice creams I want. On the other hand, I'm pretty sure... ordered 4, delivered 3. Okay. Okay. No issues to fix then. So basically what ended up happening here is this was an unplanned grocery delivery. I wasn't planning on having groceries delivered today, but I made stew, and I didn't want to make a cream-based stew this time because earlier this week I did that and it upset my stomach. I think, maybe, possibly, probably not. Ever so slight possibility. So I decided I would make tomato-based. Well, there was a problem. I didn't have any tomato anything, and there were no fresh tomatoes in the house, and there were no stewed tomatoes, and the housemate didn't have any tomatoes. But what he did have was a jar of Prego's fresh mushroom spaghetti sauce. So I made my stew with that. It was actually pretty good. I liked it. It needed, like, I probably should have put it in there at the start, but then the potatoes would have tasted like it because it's a pressure cooker. And so I'm kind of glad that I didn't. It's another reason why I'm also glad I didn't have carrots. Carrots would have been god awful in a stew that way. But yeah, so yeah, that's stew with tomato or with Prego spaghetti sauce turned out pretty good. I'm probably gonna eat a little bit more before I go to bed because the rest of it's gonna have to go in the garbage because I have no room for storing something like that. Because my fridges are now both full. So that's the thing. Alright. Whee! Sarge keeps being Mr. Social. And I don't know if it's because the light is on, and so he's disturbed, or if it's too hot in the hide, but too cold in the rest of the enclosure. It's 84 degrees in the hide, but at the glass it's only 81 degrees. And if I turn any of the heaters up much higher, it's just going to be frickin' hotter than blue blazes in here. I don't know about you, but blue blazes are pretty hot.
I'm looking for Sean Hampton. Can you help me, Mr. Throgmorton?
The sad saint? He should be at his night asylum at this hour, but I cannot tell you how to find it, sorry.
Really? Why is that?
It's nothing personal, Doctor. I'm sure your intentions are good, but people who sleep there, they have plenty of reasons to hide.
I'm just a man whose intentions are good. Oh Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood.
I could make you tell me, but I respect your refusal. You really believe Sean is a saint, don't you?
All I will say is this. Gossip has it that when he was a child, he was molested. By a priest of all people. Funny thing is, though, it only strengthened his faith.
Yeah, that is pretty funny, actually.
Maybe at least you can tell me who could help me find him.
Tell you what, go and chat with Tom Watts. He's a bartender and good judge of character. If he talks to you, then it's fine by me.
Have you heard of the Guard of Prewan?
Of course. They're dedicated hunters. A little militant for my taste, but they do let anyone join.
Were you ever tempted to join the Guard yourself?
I did think about it, but I'm more of a silent hunter. They're more of a sanitary militia.
So you hunt alone? That sounds risky.
Vampires are just like every other predator. They hunt when they're hungry and follow certain patterns. It's just a matter of observation and patience.
What can you tell me about this neighborhood?
Did you hear about what happened to Jack Gillingham? Oh boy. It's a shame I wasn't around to protect him.
It's impossible to protect everyone. The violence seems endemic in this part of town.
But it's my duty. I am convinced Jack Gillingham was killed by a vampire. These evil rodents are spreading like a plague.
Most of the time, Jonathan is a good vampire. Except when Faye is trying to kill everyone.
So, how exactly are you protecting these people? I'm curious.
I patrol late at night, investigating anything unusual. I try and encourage people to stay indoors, but people are careless.
Can I help in any way?
Actually, yes. I plan to put up posters to alert the population to the vampire threat.
Are you asking me to paste posters about vampires around the docks?
If you wouldn't mind. If you did that, then I can focus on my patrols.
How do you identify a vampire?
It's simple, really. They can't stand daylight. They're afraid of garlic and holy symbols. They also cannot enter a house without being invited.
Have you ever killed one of these creatures? Yourself, I mean.
Of course I have. What kind of question is that? It's a dirty business, believe me.
Goodbye, and good hunting, Mr. Throckmorton.
I think I'm losing my mind. I should just run as far away from this place as I can.
Times like these, a good drink's just as likely to cause a problem as to solve one.
Evening, miss.
Well, I never. That's a first. Customers who make that much mess rarely come back. Never mind in fancy togs.
I'm much more myself than when we first met. By the way, I'm Jonathan, Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Welcome back to the Turquoise Turtle then, Doctor. I'm Sabrina Cavendish. How can I help you?
Miss Cavendish, would you be willing to help me locate Sean Hampton?
You better ask Tom, sir.
Why not answer me directly?
We respect the privacy of our customers here, sir. Only Tom can decide who to speak to and what he'll say to them.
What can you tell me about this area?
People don't appreciate that line of questioning round here. You best be more careful with what you say, sir.
You look concerned, Miss Cavendish.
This is a bad borough. Most people I know are afraid. Most locals will rob you blind, or worse. You best mind your step.
So you and your friends all feel in danger? No exceptions?
Tom's the only exception I've come across until now. But he's not like everybody else.
Times like these, a good
This place seems, how shall I put it, very colorful. I'm sure it has plenty of stories to tell.
We get people of all sorts here. It's that rare place in the docks where you can have a drink without being murdered. At least it's not happened yet.
So this bar is neutral territory then?
Yeah. Tom's convinced this is something the locals need. No one ever draws a weapon here. That's one of the reasons I accepted the job.
Your boss must be quite the negotiator to force such an agreement.
Yeah. Tom's a great bloke. Mr. Hampton, who runs the night asylum, he's the only other man that's able to keep peace around here.
Excuse my curiosity, but Where exactly are you from, Miss Cavendish?
Something bothering you? What, my name? Or my complexion?
Believe me, I never judge someone on their place of birth or the color of their skin.
If that's true, you'd be one of the few not to make fun of me. Just you, Tom, Dyson, Miss Fishburne, and of course Mr. Hampton.
I'm sorry if I worried you. I was just curious to find out if you know this part of town well.
Nosy. My dad was a sailor from Bombay, and my mum was a maid born up in Glasgow. They got married in London. And here I am.
I got one of hers.
So few clients. What with the epidemic, no one dares go outside.
Goodbye, Miss Cavendish. Good evening, Tom.
Talk
Good
to me,
evening,
brother.
sir. How are you tonight? Back to the docks, are we?
You remember me then?
Of course I do. You're that man who seemed so lost when he entered my bar a few nights ago.
Thank you for your hospitality. I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way.
I'm still Tom Watts. Welcome back, Doctor.
Tom, I need to find Sean Hampton as quickly as possible. I've been told you could help me.
I heard the sad saint was recovering at Pembroke Hospital. Did he leave or something?
I believe he returned to his flock. Can you confirm that?
Oh, I bet you're right. Sean can't help but worry about the poor and sick. Oh, I guess it has something to do with what happened to him as a baby.
Please, tell me.
Well, I don't like to gossip, but I heard that the sad saint was abandoned as a baby in front of a Catholic orphanage in Dublin. It would explain his faith and need to help everyone.
The important thing is I find him, quickly.
Why not try his night asylum? He takes care of those who need a meal or a roof there.
Where is it?
It's in an old warehouse, northwest of here. Just follow the bank to the west and go north when you reach the end of the pier.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
It's not that bad, thanks to people like the sad saint of the East End.
Who?
Sean Hampton, our own private holy figure. Few are foolish enough to make peace with the gangs. Sean is one of them.
How is it you can keep this place open? This part of town doesn't seem particularly safe.
Well, since everybody needs a drink, my pub is considered neutral ground by most groups.
Since I'm here, is there anything I can do?
Well, perhaps, Doctor. Peace partly depends on my stock of gin. With the epidemic, my supplies are running low.
How could a physician help you in this matter?
I have a small warehouse just past the quarantine line. Perhaps, with you being a doctor, you could go there and come back?
Doctors aren't immune to disease, you know.
Oh, but vampires.
Very well. Show me where it is. I'll see what I can do.
Oh, thank you, sir. Here's the key to get in. You're about to save many dry throats.
I see. So you get pressure from all sides about how this place should be run, do you?
Or something like that. Nothing that a few wise words and a bottle of gin can't solve.
You're something of a figurehead around here.
I'm only pouring alcohol for everyone to forget their troubles. Sean Hampton is the one giving them long-term hope.
Why does your waitress feel in danger working on the docks?
This part of town is dangerous for all, but for women it's worse, as always. Sabrina is a brave girl, but she can't help feeling in danger.
Do you think she has good reason to feel this way? Are you not worried about her safety?
Of course I am. The truth is, she's tougher than me deep inside. She just has to learn to control it.
Goodbye, Mr. Watts.
Perhaps I should shut the turquoise for a time.
I hope I live long enough to see them wet boot boys get what's coming to them.
Oh, I'll give him what for. Believe you me.
Times like these.
Technically, right now, I don't think I'm supposed to. Never mind. I'm able to get into this shit, so I'm taking it. Tom, do you not know how a safe works? Clearly, Tom does not
Good drink's
understand
just
how
as
a safe-
likely to cause a problem as to solve one.
I've never even been to India. I think I'm losing my mind. I should just run as far away from this place as I can.
I should have offered a drink to the boy. Be he cursed or not, he's just another lost orphan.
Damn it. I think drink no longer stirs me.
Okay. Oh yeah, I have to talk to Booth and Cox's wife. Widow.
In the meantime, the boys are waiting for well, for your orders, my sweet queen.
I hope the rumors about Clay are true. Otherwise...
I also have a bunch of posters that need to be thrown about, as it were. I've got a necklace. And a bracelet. And a letter. Something's going on at the hospital. It won't let me actually look at whatever's going on at the hospital. That's a double jump back over to the other side. Box.
Moron had me laughing at first. It's a thing.
Your voice scared the bejeebers out of me, Booth.
Good evening, sir.
Who the fuck are you? Don't you see I'm busy here?
Dr. Jonathan Reed, that's who I am. And who are you?
Ah, some fancy gentleman we've got here. Clear off. We don't want strangers on our streets.
So you won't tell me your name, then?
The name is Booth Digby. Maybe I'll ask my boys to break one or two of your bones, just so you remember it.
Do you know where I can find Sean Hampton? I need to talk to him.
The sad saint. Why on earth do you want to talk to him?
He was one of my patients at the Pembroke Hospital.
Oh, yeah. I heard the poor bastard had been abducted by some cunt. You better ask Tom Watts. He knows Sean Hampton well.
Are you some kind of vigilante patrolling these streets at night?
Something like that, but the police aren't in charge here. We are, see?
So you're a concerned criminal, is that it?
Using funny jokes about me and my boys, are you? Fuck. You must have some balls.
I saw many men like you during the war, Mr. Digby. Greedy little cockroaches who feed on despair.
I could kill you for saying that. But, nah. You've been a soldier. I can respect that.
You're barely higher level.
So, tell me about your gang.
Just the woman. who keeps
What?
complaining
Have you
about
got a
people.
death wish? You really want me to answer that?
Well, yes.
Yes.
You seem so
your-
proud of your status. Why not tell me who you're working for?
Oi! I'm the boss, all right? The wet boot boys work for me. All of them. Situation round here is better than other districts because of us. Because of me.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
Things ain't that bad, thanks to us. We give people what they need, and we control this borough.
Well, you're not doing a very good job. People are still dying here like everywhere else.
Yeah, well, we can't be everywhere all the time. And Edwina says if we can find more guns, we could be more efficient.
More efficient? Really? You should probably tell Edwina that guns are useless against diseases and infections.
Incredible. You know what? You're lucky she can't hear you right now. She's more smart than patient. My sweet queen of the docks.
We got one of them.
Goodbye, Mr. Digby. Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. May I ask you a few questions?
Who are you? What do you want?
As I just told you, I'm a doctor. From the Pembroke Hospital, actually.
The Pembroke Hospital, you say? I don't have any money for you leeches.
I'm not here for charity, Miss...
Miss Edwina Cox. So what do you want then? Fancy buying something from me, maybe?
I'm looking for Mr. Sean Hampton. Do you know where I could find him?
The sad saint? I heard he was mugged or something.
Yes, he was. But he left hospital recently.
You don't say. Well, I suppose it's good news for the homeless and the useless. Ask them, they must know something.
You still use your husband's name, Edwina. Why is that?
Why shouldn't I? He may be a bloody bastard, but I'm still his wife and his name means something round here.
Are you aware of what happened to him?
Yes.
Lit up.
I'm sure he fought till the end and looked death in the eyes. The boys will mourn him. Except one of them, maybe.
What can you tell me about your work?
I'm a businesswoman. I buy and sell things, and I send my wet boot boys after anyone who don't play nice with me.
Gang member and shopkeeper. Can't be easy running double shifts.
If you're interested, I may find use of a doctor who can freely walk across the city, you know.
You're quite blunt, aren't you?
I like people who know what they want and say what they think. This is a time of great opportunity for those ready to embrace their destiny.
I'm not interested in a career in the criminal underworld, Miss Cox.
Fair enough. Stay away from us then, if you don't want to get hurt or worse.
Since my return from the war, I don't feel that concerned by threats, knives, or even bullets, if you must know.
That's exactly what that stupid trade unionist claimed after he attacked one of us. Booth and I reminded him a bullet beats words every time.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
You can't trust anyone around here. As soon as you lower your guard, you can be sure some arsehole will take advantage of you.
Really? Don't you think that's a little bit excessive?
Bastards, all of them. This region only responds to violence and threats.
You sound like you're thinking of somebody in particular.
Take the gravediggers of Southwark. They must pay me every week, but it looks like they forgot who gave them permission to steal from the dead.
Looting corpses in a mass grave. That is a new low.
Whatever. Hey, since you're a doctor and all, maybe you can access that forbidden area and remind those bastards what they owe.
Booth Digby looks at you with love-struck eyes. Tell me, Edwina, is the feeling mutual?
You have no idea how refreshing it can be for a woman to receive all the pleasure she needs. For once.
I'll take your word for it.
What is it, Doctor? A woman's not supposed to talk about these things.
I'm not that easily shocked, Miss Cox. You can speak freely about your lover if you so wish.
The poor bastard is good to me, if you must know. He makes me feel good. And that's a first.
So you're just like any other couple, after all, are you not?
Yeah, we're so ordinary that I'd put a bullet in his head if he ever cheated on me.
For that.
Tell me about the man you and Booth killed, Edwina.
The bastard killed one of us and received retribution. There's nothing else to say.
What happened exactly?
I don't know, and I don't care. One of ours was killed by that communist bastard, but he didn't brag for long.
So you have no idea what really happened, but you executed him anyway.
No one messes with the wet boot boys, Doctor. This is our territory, and this is our law.
What kind of name is Wet Boot Boys for a gang? Can you explain that to me?
And your conscience is clear. You kill without hesitation.
Violence is an efficient tool, Dr. Reed, when used properly.
So you decide who lives and who dies, just like that.
Yes, Doctor. Just like that. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm saying it's my way of dealing with troublemakers.
Can I see what you have to sell?
As long as you have money, I'll show you all I have.
I haven't spent a red cent yet. Hey, Digby! Where'd you go, jerk off? Seriously, where the hell did you go? Digby! Digby Booth. I am the ghost of... Oh, that guy you killed! There you are. Where the f were you hiding?
You again. What do you want?
Oh, you're short.
Tell me about the man you killed, Booth. What happened?
One of us had been killed, so we had to retaliate. That's the whole story.
There has to be more to it than that.
No, really. One of us got killed, so the killer had to die. That's how things have always been done round here. No one gives a shit.
Are you so heartless that you could pull the trigger and kill someone without even blinking?
Have you looked around recently? Do you really think one more body will make a difference?
Do you know Edwina suspects you to be unfaithful?
Edwina's the one who asked to be called Mrs. Cox, even though Clay hadn't touched her for such a long time.
You have not answered my question.
She's a passionate woman. I've no doubt she'll shoot me down if I ever betray her, but that's not going to happen. I love her as she is.
We get another hint for Edwina.
Goodbye, Mr. Digby.
I feel like
Good
I just
evening,
keep
Miss
going back
Cox.
and forth.
Hello again, Dr. Reed. What do you want?
Goodbye.
Okay,
Miss
goodbye. You, stop.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Why must it always be a good evening?
I was just being polite. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you some questions, if I may.
Don't like questions. Or doctors. And the name is Seymour Fishburne, if you must know.
Any chance you can help me find Sean Hampton?
The sad saint. Why would you talk to that cunt?
Actually, that's confidential.
Really? Well, go ask someone else then. I'm sure Tom Watts will gladly answer you.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
A shithole filled with maggots. Liars and thieves, all of them.
All of them.
Are you thinking about someone in particular?
No. Hate them all. Especially these petty, whining little shitbag beggars.
Is there no one who deserves your leniency, then?
Well, Tom from our local is somewhat of a decent bloke. At least, unlike most maggots, he knows how to listen without opening his trap.
What's your occupation?
I take care of my mum. That's what I do. She's the only good thing in my life. Even though I don't treat her so good.
You seem upset. Is something bothering you?
I lost the necklace I bought her. I'm a fucking idiot. A worthless idiot.
Sometimes it's hard to be a good son.
I just want her to smile. No, I was thankful for her patience, appreciated like... God knows she deserves it.
I think I remember where the necklace is, and it's not the one I already found.
Goodbye, Mr. Fishburne. Hello, boy.
Hello. Good evening.
Did I scare you? You have nothing to fear from me.
No, it's just that people prefer to avoid me.
Well, I won't. I'm a doctor.
My name is Rufus, sir. Rufus Kingsbury.
Do you know a man who lives in this part of town? A man named Sean Hampton. I'm looking for him.
Sorry, sir. I don't know a lot of folks around here. Most prefer to avoid me.
Well, I don't think you should talk to him. He may be very sick.
Thanks for the tip. You might want to check the Turquoise Turtle. It's a pub not far from here. The barkeep knows everyone in these parts.
That's not why I'm over here. But I asked you.
What can you tell me about this region?
It's all about staying out of trouble. But since most people prefer to avoid me, it's pretty easy.
Why do people avoid you?
They call me Rufus the Curse. Around here, I'm a bit of a bad luck charm.
Have you ever thought about leaving?
Where else would I go? At least I know these streets and some people around here. This is my city, for better or worse.
What do you do around here, Rufus?
I listen to the news on the docks, sir. And I smile at those kind enough to spare me a bob.
I'm sure that's slang for some type of currency, but I'm not sure.
Do you have a job?
It's hard to work, what with my head and all. Since I was a boy, I've always had trouble remembering what I do and why I do it.
What do people say about this place?
Things have been tense between the Wet Boot Boys and the Communists. They both feel they should run the docks.
Are you alone? Where is your family?
I don't have any. My parents are dead.
So you have no home? You're sleeping rough?
No. I mean, yes. I live on the streets. I have no home.
This city has abandoned so many of its children. It's tragic.
Well, I've known worse. I'm not all alone. I have Mrs. Fishburne. She's been very kind to me.
Why do you think she's so considerate?
I can't say, sir. I guess she's a good soul. Sometimes it's like she replaces the mother I lost, even if we're not related.
So long, Rufus. Be careful. Take care.
All these whispers of monsters got folk gossiping and scared. It's people they should fear. Flesh and blood.
I'm sorry.
Good evening, madam. I'm Dr. Reed. Could I come in?
Why? What do you want?
I work at the Pembroke Hospital. I'm investigating the flu epidemic in this area.
Oh, the Spanish flu. Well, that's quite liberal of you, Doctor. But this is no time to be knocking at people's doors.
The disease takes away the good people too, madam. Why not let me in?
It's Mrs. Fishburne. Stella Fishburne. And yes, indeed. Why not let a doctor in? I can't remember the last time I had a good sleep. I've been nothing but worry.
It's locked. It's locked, all right.
I'm not trying to...
So you have questions about the flu, then?
Yes, among other things.
Forgive my rudeness at the door. It's just my son doesn't like strangers coming in the house.
I'm trying to locate Mr. Sean Hampton. Do you know where he could be?
You talking about the one everyone calls the sad saint? The man who takes care of the homeless?
The very same, Miss Fishburne.
I'm sorry. I don't know where his shelter is. But if you ask around, I'm sure you'll get your answer.
The orphan that regards you as a mother. Please tell me about him, Stella.
You mean Rufus? I wish I could do even more for the poor boy. Most people are so selfish.
But you're not.
Years may have passed, but I haven't forgotten how it feels to go through days with nothing but an empty stomach.
How is life around here?
Life has always been hard in the East End. But it's everywhere nowadays, isn't it?
Do you think the increase in violence has anything to do with the epidemic?
Don't know, but it's most likely linked to the gangs if you ask me. Recently, it's like everyone has had to pick a side.
Violence has always fed on poverty, don't you think? It's a cruel law of the human condition.
And selfishness is their rotten fruit. These days, you can just die in the gutter and no one will bat an eye.
May I ask what you do for a living, Mrs. Fishburne?
Since my husband died, I worked at the Dawson Rope Factory, but it closed before the war. I occasionally help at the night asylum, in exchange for food.
Didn't she just tell us that she doesn't know where Sean Hampton's night asylum is?
Did your husband die in the war?
Oh no, my Jack was a docker. He died when my Seymour was just a lad. The poor boy saw his dad slip and fall from that scaffolding.
How do you pay the rent, then?
My Seymour works at the docks, just like his dad. He's very attached to the house he grew up in. It's not always easy, but we get by all right.
Goodbye,
I'm
Miss
not eating
Fishburne.
her yet.
Take care of yourself.
I'm not sure the epidemic is what worries people most these days. I can't remember the last time I had a good sleep. I've been nothing but worry.
Nothing but worry. Darn it, Rufus. Do I have any... Did I make anything for anemia?
Evening, Rufus.
Evening, Mr. Reed.
Do you need help?
A real doctor caring about me. That's a first. I feel like a real person.
Well, you should.
A real doctor treats everyone the same, Rufus.
I don't know what to say. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Do you know a man who
Okay.
lives in this part of...
Sorry,
well, so long, Rufus. Be careful. Take care.
Rufus. No, farther. Come over here. Go in your building and go downstairs. See more butts.
Good evening, Mr. Fishman.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Mr. Fishburne.
God damn it, Seymour, or Rufus, or whoever the F you are. Huh?
Another disgusting ghoul did it, don't you think?
I don't think so. The wounds are clean. It's methodical.
A freaking vampire then.
I can't say, but whatever did this carefully avoided the arteries. We have found ourselves a bloody artery.
It's locked, all right.
What if I don't want it to be locked?
Stupid beast! Bloody leech! Watch it! It's a killer!
Show out. What the actual F? Oh shit. That was not going to be fun. Also, you know, we're gonna go across the bridge. Rufus. Stop. Fine. We're going across the bridge.
Hypocrites, all of them. Maggots and liars.
And shut your stupid face. Didn't I loot that when I came through here the first time?
This is no place for you. Steady, boys. We've got one of them. Yeah. Take its head.
Ow. That was in my head.
I'll kill you. Yeah.
Alright. Didn't I kill one of them down over in this area? I swear I did. Alright, well apparently I didn't. Three shillings. Who the fuck leaves an oil lamp on the stairs? You're asking for fire. Begging for it even.
I cannot enter. It's locked. It's
Don't
locked,
say.
all right.
We found a hideout. We found a hideout. We found a hideout. Heavens to Betsy. Some of the stuff I have just a ton of ingredients for. Other stuff I'm like, just don't have enough right now. You probably don't see the rhyme or reason for that, but it's 4, 2, 1. Each one is half of the one after it. No, I don't know. I have over 1900 now. The same door I came in. Is there a different door? Other door, just the one entrance. Okay. Would there be more than one entrance to a hideout? Oh no, I don't make the rules. Why wouldn't there be?
Easy does it, boys. We can deal with this vermin. Bloody leech!
I got rid of those two. Okay, so I know where that is.
Get them weapons ready!
Ow. Ow.
I'll kill you! Fuck! That's gonna hurt! You!
Oh.
Get back in the field!
Ah! No! You have been defeated. As long as I haven't been defayed. Damn it, now I have no blood. Ooh, excusez-moi.
It ain't human! Kill it! Watch out, lads! Filthy piece of shit!
Where did you go?
Best turn around if I were you. See them fancy clothes? This one's a top. Get a taste of this. Bloody monster! Don't like that, do ya? I'll put an end to you! Shit!
There's a box over here. What's in the box? Pain.
Crush the leech, boys! I'll kill it! Die, leech!
Ow!
I'll send you to hell!
That sucked. You know know there are rats around here. I could hear them.
This is despicable.
I need to go back and get the box. What's in the box? I don't know. What's in the box? What's in the box? Apparently screwdrivers and bullets. Not screwdrivers, screws. That rat respawned yet? Come on, I need cheese boys. Where are my cheese boys? I don't want to find Sean Hampton. Well, I do. But I also want to it's a dry book. It is a dry book. Something bad about being a dry book. But it is. Spot up, there's a... You're gonna poof? Why are you gonna poof me? Why are we poofing me? You sure it's gonna make it go poof? I can't remember if I'm on silent. No, the phone is not on silent. Why are we poofing me? Is it something you... I was defeated because I got died. Got died.
This place. Rain may have washed away the blood, but not the memory. My poor Mary.
Ow. I got used to there not being anything going on in chat. Like, I would just barely glance at things, and nothing was happening, so I kind of eventually just stopped even barely glancing. But then I looked over, and you were like, I'm going to poof you, and I'm like, what? Why are we poofing me? And then I looked up a little higher. I saw a previous comment, so then I responded to previous comment. So yeah. Writing note.
This is my watch. Damn grave robbers.
Don't steal from Jonathan's. That includes my cousin. I feel like there was something else that was supposed to happen up here too early for something else to happen up here? No, must have been too early. $3. The people are only giving me 3 shillings at a time now. Very disappointing. What happened to my 5 shillings? I thought that bag was a person. Oh, it's a priest. And a shotgun dude. Oh, and a torch guy. There was something up here that I was supposed to be actually coming up here for. Other than reminiscing about getting my machete. Are you gonna tell me I can't come this way? Oh no, I'm just not allowed to break it with my own speed. I have to break it with my sword. Oh, I'm on the other side? Okay.
Turn around, sir.
No, you come over here.
I said go
Also,
back home.
I don't have bright eyes.
This one's mine.
And of course, it's the priest who gets here first.
God walks with me.
Ah! F your God.
No rest for the wicked.
Ow! You're not playing Whack-A-Jonathan. I've had this discussion with you guys before. It's not polite. Ow.
Want some of this?
Son of an ass. Asshole. Call me an asshole. One more time. I can't remember what it was over here. That I was like, I should come over here and do that right now. I'm kind of lost. I'm not gonna lie. I'm definitely not where I'm supposed to be. That's neither here nor there, I suppose. Turn around. Turn around. Oh,
It's a leech.
it's not a leech.
There's one of them
It's locked, all right.
Yeah, you're right. It's locked. We don't care. I mean, ultimately I think we care, but not right this second. We're going to go up. Every time I hear that gun cocking noise, it makes me nervous.
I cannot enter.
And that's only because we didn't kill the local boss. Which is probably because we haven't slept yet and we have almost 20,000 experience points.
Die, Vat!
You die.
I'll send you to hell.
No. No one will send me to hell.
I'll put an end to you!
So the reason that I haven't used the experience points and I'm hoarding them is mostly to do with the fact that I kind of don't want to make everything respawn, and I also don't want to suffer the consequences for killing the people that I've killed. Because that will suck. Or I think it will suck. I'm not sure. So I've already got everything that was up. Yeah, for, you know, killing people. The district will soon suffer the consequences of your actions. Oh, that's down here. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad I turned around and came back in there. Really? I can't just step up? I know, it's a silly thing. There's a hideout over here. We'll use it.
Steady, boy! We've got one of them! Freewind shall prevail!
No, it shan't.
No rest for the wicked!
I'm using the wrong weapon again.
We'll crush them! Lord, give us strength!
No, stop beating up Jonathan.
Your maid! Shit!
Jerk. Okay, so I thought that the hideout was this way, but apparently it's not. Did the priest drop a thing? He did! Seems like whatever I pick up stays picked up even after I've died. But the people I've killed don't.
Christ! He's dead!
I'm gonna name you Jim. Actually, I'm gonna name you Bones. Bones is the one that says shit. He's dead, Jim. That didn't do me any good. Where did the hideout go? Oh, there was a hideout. Somewhere. I feel like it was over in that area, but I didn't see it. Ow, my leg!
This one's mine!
Yeah, this is the other thing. I really don't want to have to fight this shit again. Where'd you go?
Watch it! It's a killer! Fuck, he's fast! Over there! There's one of them vermin!
Watch who you call vermin.
Steady, boys! We've got one of them here! No!
That was a little melodramatic, don't you think? Flickering lights. Have I picked up anything else that needs to be taken apart? Oh, excuse me. Watch. I think I accidentally took apart Mortimer's watch at some point. Oops. Alright. This one's less expensive. I tend to use this shit a lot more than I do the other stuff. So... Alright. Well, now we're level 22. The following night. Fight against the rise of crime. Dorothy Crane was found dead yesterday morning. Oh no! Pippa is missing? Shit. That's hilarious. Ooh, he is very sick. Well, I think I have one of those, so I can fix that. It's kind of odd the docs are so healthy now.
Over there!
It's not nice to shoot people in the back.
Christ, he's dead! He's dead! Watch out, boys!
Where the devil are you even coming?
Yeah! Yeah! Bloody leech!
God, I almost drank him in one go. We did, our mesmer level didn't increase. So, unfortunately, not so much. I love how there's a hideout right next to the hideout that we were hiding out in. This is actually the first hideout in the entire game. Bottle of alcohol. Anything over here? There's just a pocket watch laying here that we can't pick up. Surprisingly, apparently we can't reuse the bed we died in. Still, coming in here does have a purpose. Find down here. Go. Locked, which unlocks the door to the hideout we were just in, and we still can't open this guy.
It's locked, all right.
It's locked, all right. I think if we come this way. Yep, this would be the thing I was thinking about doing.
Yes. The place has changed since the explosion, but it was definitely here. May all who suffered from this tragedy find or rest in peace.
Yay, we found stuff. Now we're level 22. And most of the people around here are no higher level than level 18.
Over there! There's one of them vermin! Ah!
Over there, there's one of them vermin. Are you sure? You sure, for sure?
Steady, boys! We've got one of them! Ah! Filthy fucking beast! Killing's all you deserve! I'll take its head! Ah!
We were level 2 before the end of the last episode. The last stream, the reason that I was able to kill all the people that I killed last stream was because we hit level 2. Most of the people I have yet to kill are level 3 or higher.
There's one of them! Watch out! I order you to step back.
I totally forgot I had the blood shield. Ow. Ow. Ow! That was my face! Do not go shooting people in the face! Did your mothers teach you nothing? You don't shoot people in the face, and you don't shoot people in the back.
Murdering bosses!
Locked. That's not what I was trying to do, but hey, whatever.
Bloody monster!
And you're dead? Also, Pippa is missing, apparently. Which is not necessarily good news. No, you're fine. It was a legitimate question. You're fine. And I don't mean that in the pedantic way that I tell my customers at work. I mean that honestly and legitimately. And I don't say it at work in a pedantic tone. I just like... I don't always mean it at work. Oh no, it's fine. It doesn't matter that you didn't remember how to read the instructions on how to change your password. That's what the service desk is for. Oh, you needed to set up your Microsoft Authenticator app? Let me just go ahead and walk you right through that. Oh, you mean you didn't expect that it would only take 5 minutes? You thought it was going to take like a half an hour? Don't worry about it. You're not wasting my time. There aren't people with worse issues that I could be helping at all. I enjoy gaming. I don't mind being asked a question or two here or there. And if I come off sounding rude, I apologize for that.
Easy does it, boys. We can deal with this. Filthy piece of shit. This one's mine.
No, you're mine.
Filthy fucking beast.
Put down your arm. I mean, I guess at work, I don't really mind helping people with the easy questions. Like the password resets and the setting up their Microsoft Authenticator apps. I just wish that the instructions that people were provided were easier. Because I've looked at some of the instructions, and I would be as confused as they are. Oh yeah, my absolute favorite is, can I get you to go to yadaya.com? You mean www.yadaya.com? No. No www. But all websites... No, they don't. Go to the website I told you to. Well, I did, and it didn't take me there. I'm at a Google page. Did you type the address into the address bar? What's the address bar? Seriously. How do you live in the modern era? I've helped octogenarians who are smarter than some frickin' Zoomers when it comes to how the internet works. Just saying. And I don't mean to use Zoomer in a pejorative. I really don't. I just mean that literally the children in my nephew's age group, some of them are unfortunately not as bright as others. Yep. And it doesn't matter if you say the address bar at the top of the browser window, either. They will still type it into the effing search bar. Why did you just take your sword out? Jonathan, you're an idiot. Okay, well, now I'm the same level as the big bad on the other side of the dock. Damn it, I need to use the bathroom. Not desperately or anything, I just need to use the bathroom. So this is a boss fight.
Seems like the guard of Prewin is on Sean Hampton's trail, too.
I hate leeches!
You may hate leeches, but I assure you, we hate you more.
Burn it, boys!
Oh my effing god. I took half of his life in one bite.
I'll send you to hell.
I'll send no one to hell.
Snap it, leech! You leech! Die, vermin! Put an end to you! Crush the leech, boys!
God, all that aggravated damage sucks.
The wounds on this corpse are deep, the result of rabid rage. If this is Sean's doing, he's become a murderous beast.
It's not Sean's doing. There's a large beast around here somewhere. God, I remember that fight taking ages the first time I did it. Heck, the second time I did it. Yep, I've tried that too. Sometimes that doesn't even help. But it's, you know, every user is a little bit different on what they think they understand and what they really understand. Damn it. Alright. It's after 9:30. And, I have to use the bathroom. So, I'm gonna go ahead and call it for the night. And, let's see, today is Wednesday, so I will see everybody tomorrow. We just hit level 22. We'll go through, kill up a bunch of stuff. See if we can find any level 1 through 2s for eating. And see what we can do about hitting level 3 or 4 Mesmer so that we can start really killing people. And see if we can find Pippa, because apparently she's missing. Yeah, I hate Wi-Fi, and I hate setting people up on Wi-Fi. It should be an easy thing to do in the modern era, but it isn't. That's neither here nor there. Now is for the ending of streams. Sleep tight, don't let the Fae bite, and I will see you guys tomorrow.